Good morning. Are you guys ready for this? You've been waiting 3 to 4 years, right? Good morning. My name is Akita Munger. I'm the Director of Student Affairs at the University of La Verne College of Law. Welcome to the University of La Verne's Class of 22 Commencement Ceremony, honoring and celebrating graduates from the College of Law as we acknowledge our 131st year. We thank you for joining us today here at Ortmayer Stadium. Our ceremony is being live streamed all over the world to family and friends of our graduates. Welcome to all of you. In a few minutes, the procession of our faculty and graduates will begin. In preparation for the ceremony, please be seated and remain seated to provide the best view for everyone. In addition, please silence your cell phones or please turn them off. There are 2,406 candidates approved for degrees this year. From the university, we add an award for 77 Juris Doctorate degrees candidates eligible to participate in this ceremony. Yeah, we can clap. We can clap. We gather today as a community to honor and celebrate the accomplishments of all of our graduates. Our students have been instructed to remain in their seats for the duration of the ceremony after receiving their diploma. Please do not approach the graduates. We ask that you stay throughout this special ceremony to celebrate every graduate's achievement, and it has taken this tremendous effort and sacrifice for each student to reach this important milestone. This is a formal ceremony. Please follow our guidelines so that we can ensure that everyone has a great experience. Please ensure that all children remain in their seats, especially for their safety, and are not disruptive to the ceremonies. Please contact an usher if you need assistance. Finally, at the end of the ceremony, for everyone's safety, our ushers will guide you in leaving the field in an orderly manner. The graduates will process through the stadium and throughout the field prior to the audience leaving. Please follow the instructions for the processional. Leading the processional of faculty and staff, in honor to carry the University Mace in today's ceremony, will be College of Law Professor of the Year, Professor Michelle Asiel-Shafia. The University Mace, designed with the university seal, symbolizes the authority vested in our president by our governing body, the Board of Trustees. Following the mace will be members of our Alumni Advisory Board, followed by instructors, adjunct faculty, administrators, and professional staff. The procession will continue with assistant and associate professors, followed by tenured professors, senior managers, trustees, and the president entering last. Faculty and administrators are either wearing custom regalia or traditional black regalia representing the colors of their alma mater. The hoods carry the colors of their field of study and the school colors of many of the nation's greatest universities, as well as several foreign institutions. The faculty and staff with the highest academic achievement are recognizable by their robes with 3 horizontal stripes on their sleeves, which designates a doctoral degree. The processional continues with platform participants that includes faculty and trustee representatives, honored guests, and chief academic and administrator's officers. Last to enter the venue will be the interim vice provost of the university, Dr. Brian Clarkson, and Dr. Devorah Lieberman, our president. President Devorah Lieberman, dressed in custom La Verne regalia, will preside over our ceremony today. Please join together in welcoming our distinguished stage participants, faculty, and administrative staff. The procession will now begin. In a moment, the procession of candidates will proceed into the commencement field to the familiar notes of Pomp and Circumstance marches by Sir Edward Elgar. We honor and celebrate the achievements of all of our graduates today. Joining over 87,000 alumni, proudly we present our Juris Doctor candidates from the College of Law at the University of La Verne's Class of 22 Commencement Ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the graduating class of 2022 from the College of Law. We want to acknowledge that we gather as the University of La Verne on the traditional land of the Tongva peoples, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it throughout the generations. Our ceremony will now proceed with the national anthem. Will you please rise, remove your caps, and face the flag on the stage for the national anthem? Performing the national anthem is a member of the University of La Verne Chamber Singers, Taylor Murphy. remain standing. I invite Reverend Xandra Wagner, University Chaplain, to the podium for invocation.
Please join me in this moment of blessing for the day. We come this morning because a celebration is rising within us, a sound of persistence, a song of accomplishment, an energy of achievement. We come this afternoon because the joy of this day is overflowing and calls us to honor and celebrate it. And so I invite you to take a moment to be connected with whatever gives you a thankful and joyful heart, whether that is beauty or God or the enlightened one or family or ancestors or Allah or the universe we all share. Humanity is blessed with a deep well of inspiration. And so let's bring our sacred, diverse perspectives and our deeply rooted values that guide and sustain us, and may they bless us in this moment. In the presence of all that is good and holy, we come thankful for our graduates, thankful for their journey, which required working hard, living through struggle, and finding one's rhythm. We come this afternoon because a celebration is rising within us, a sound of persistence, a song of accomplishment, an energy of achievement. May our celebration be deeply blessed by this joy. Amen. Please be seated.
We welcome Trustee Frank Lizarraga for a special message on behalf of the university's Board of Trustees and the faculty and staff of the University of La Verne.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Family, friends, faculty, graduates, welcome to the University of La Verne's Class of 2022 Commencement Ceremony. As a member of the Board of Trustees, as a chairman of the Board of Advisors to the College of Law, as a graduate of this university, and as a practicing attorney for over 35 years, it is an honor to be here to celebrate these hardworking candidates from the College of Law, and on behalf of the trustees, the faculty, administration, and staff, please join us in a rousing round of applause for our soon-to-be graduates. Thank you. This is a proud day for them, no doubt, but the success of theirs is not alone. For those of you in the audience, family, loved ones, friends, your care, sacrifice, and support carried them to this place in their lives that you share in today's joy of their graduation. Every candidate here today has made a lasting contribution to the University of La Verne's diverse educational community, whether on the La Verne campus or an online program. Your discourse, scholarship, and friendship supported a robust and vibrant learning environment. Now, as a graduate, you become a global citizen prepared to contribute to the betterment of the world. And as you do so, I encourage you to hold tight to the values that drew you to the university in the first place. That is lifelong learning, service and leadership, and ethical decision-making. Many of you are entering into the profession of law, the practice of law. Some of you will use your degrees, your Juris Doctorate degree for other reasons. But the practice of law is a noble profession. It carries with it ethical responsibilities and the ability to use what you've learned at the College of Law in a very high-level way. They will guide you on your way, and whether the next steps take you around the world or just simply around the block, one point on your compass will never change. And that is, from today forward, you will be forever an alumni of this great university, the University of La Verne, and you will be Leos for life. Congratulations for all that you've accomplished. Congratulations on this, your commencement day from the University of La Verne. Now I'm delighted to introduce Dr. Devorah Lieberman, the 18th president of the University of La Verne. President Lieberman is a nationally known leader and educator. She will preside over today's ceremony, so please join me in welcoming Dr. Lieberman to the podium.
First of all, let me follow Trustee Lizarga and say, good morning, graduates. Good morning, family and friends of the graduates who have come from far and wide. Good morning. Okay, let's try that once more. Good morning. Okay, you all just passed the bar. That was perfect. Wait, can I say that without getting in trouble? Okay. I have to check with your dean to make sure I'm not out of line. I asked Trustee Lizarga to stay up here for 1 minute because to be a trustee at the University of La Verne is an enormous responsibility. You set the vision, you bring your talents, you bring your treasures, you bring your time. This man has done all three of those things from the beginning, not just as a trustee, as an alumnus of the university, as the chair of the Board of Advisors for the College of Law, and as a trustee at the University of La Verne on the Board of Trustees. This man, the only College of Law that has an endowed dean in the state of California, is because of this man, and because of him, we have the Frank Lizarraga College of Law endowed dean, Kevin Marshall. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Frank. Amazing. We're so fortunate. And someday, all of you are going to want to sit on the Board of Advisors. You'll want to be a trustee, and you'll want to, I don't know, name the building, name the law school. I can see it in your future. There are two other trustees that are sitting on the stage that I want to thank today who are absolutely remarkable. Ann Quay Davis. Ann, can you stand up for just a second? Ann has been on the board for 26 years. Some of you aren't even 26 years old. Ann, thank you for everything that you do for the University of La Verne. Sue Searing. Sue Searing's been on the board for 12 years, and she is the chair of the Gala Committee. She and her husband attend her husband doesn't attend everything, many things. She attends everything. An unbelievable supporter of you and the University of La Verne. Thank you for everything you do, Trustee Searing. So now, students, I want to say a few words to you. And let me start by saying we have 4 colleges, about to have 5. The College of Business, La Phaedra College of Education, College of Arts and Sciences. We're opening the College of Health and Community Wellbeing and the College of Law. Let me start by saying I love the College of Law. I love you for what you've done at the College of Law, and I love the purpose and the mission of this college. You are graduating from a college like none other in the state of California. You've been through a lot these past 2 years with the pandemic, and moving forward, focusing on graduating from the College of Law, taking the bar, passing the bar, and being successful attorneys. So let me start by saying Congratulations to you. I love the College of Law. And one of the things I'd like to remind you, I know you've been working diligently, whether it was on Zoom or face-to-face, with your classes and your papers and beginning to prep for the bar. I realize all of that. When I meet students, when I'm walking around campus, when I'm giving talks, when they first start, I always say to the students, I don't say, what's your major? I say, what's your mission? So your mission needs to drive whatever activities that you do. And I realize that you're all in the College of Law because you want to achieve, you want to get your JD, pass the bar, and move on to the next chapter of your life. Absolutely. But what I ask of you is to ask yourselves, why did I choose to enter law school, to work so hard to achieve what? So ask yourself, why did I enter law school? And it's so easy to forget the why as you're going through the struggles of getting through law school, taking the bar, passing the bar, and moving on. Never forget the why you entered law school. I would venture to say that most of you said, I want to have an impact. I want to make a difference. I want to advocate for my neighbors and my friends. I want to be a vessel and an instrument for social justice. If that's why you entered our College of Law, that's the mission of our College of Law. And as you move forward years from now, and you are billing at every 6 minutes, but years from now it'll probably be every minute and not every 6 minutes that you're billing. But as papers are piling up, you've got more cases than you ever thought you'd have, it's easy to forget why you chose this profession. So I'd like to give you a very short homework assignment. I'd like you tonight, after you've had several glasses of champagne, we used to be a dry campus, now we're a moist campus. So after you've had several glasses of champagne, I'd like you to sit down and write a little reflection, why you entered this profession. Because I'm telling you, years from now, when you're overwhelmed with the administrivia, it's easy to forget the mission, why you chose to enter this wonderful profession of law. And then when you're overwhelmed and say, why did I do this? Pull out that yellow piece of paper several years from now, reread it, because it will remind you that you chose a noble, virtuous, ethical path in our College of Law. So let me be the first to congratulate your families, your friends, and you, because today you will be the esteemed alumni of the University of La Verne. You will be Leos for life. Congratulations. So, wait, that was a little bit anemic. You will be a Leos for life. Congratulations. Better, thank you. And now I would like to invite up our endowed College of Law Dean, Dean Marshall, to present the formal introduction for our commencement speaker. Thank you, Dean Marshall.
Good morning. The College of Law and the University of La Verne today welcomes Ricardo Echeverria to be our commencement speaker. Ricardo is an award-winning trial attorney, locally born and raised, dairy farmer, who's found great success seeking justice, handling cases, dealing primarily with insurance bad faith. catastrophic personal injury, among others. He is the past president of the Consumer Attorneys Association of Los Angeles, the nation's largest local association of plaintiffs' attorneys. He's been recognized as one of the top 30 plaintiff lawyers in California in 2018 and 2019. He's been named one of the top 100 attorneys in California in 2017 and 2018 by the Los Angeles Daily Journal. In 2019, he was honored with the Lifetime Legal Achievement Award from the Consumer Watchdog. His trial record is distinguished, with impressive victories which have resulted in multi-million-dollar verdicts, including a $68 million jury verdict in a medical malpractice case that the National Law Journal recognized as one of the elite trial lawyers' top 50 verdicts in 2018. He's an author who is published. He's a teacher and a mentor, and he's taught and lectured at the University of La Verne's College of Law for years. He's also engaged in several professional associations, including the State Bar of California, the American Bar Association, the Riverside County Bar Association, the Los Angeles County Bar Association, the Consumer Attorneys of California, the Consumer Attorneys of Inland Empire, and is a board member of CALA. Without any further ado, I welcome Ricardo Echeverria.
Well, thank you, Dean Marshall. 29 years ago and 6 days, to be precise, I was in your shoes, graduating from law school. And I remember that day like it was yesterday. This, folks, is a huge accomplishment. And I want to start this with everyone, family, friends, and the class, to give the 2022 College of Law a huge, and I mean huge, round of applause. You know, speaking to the graduates, you've chosen an incredibly honorable and privileged profession. You're representing not just yourself, but you're representing an institution, the practice of law. And going forward, you're going to have to decide how are you going to use those talents that you have, those skills that you have, what you bring to the table. How are you going to use those? And I thought today I would just give you my thoughts on some things that I think are important to have a successful career, no matter what area you go into. You know, I'm often, because I'm a trial lawyer, I spend my life in the courtroom trying cases. That's what I've done for 29 years. And I'm often asked, well, Ricardo, what makes a great trial lawyer? And I've broken it down to two simple things. And this is true not just of a trial lawyer, but just as a lawyer in general. Number one, sincerity. Be an honest person. Be a forthright person. Be a person who's passionate, who cares about the work you do. Be sincere. Credibility. Credibility is everything in a courtroom. And it's easy to lose. And once you lose it, you never get it back. So sincerity is number one. Number two is something that you don't learn in a courtroom, you don't learn in a classroom, you learn in life, and that's a work ethic. This is not an 8-to-5 job. Any successful person in any area, particularly in practicing law, it's hard work. It's not easy. But if you're willing to put in the effort, it will pay back in spades. Second thing I wanted to have you remember is never forget where you came from. You all have family members here today who are here who have supported you. And family can be whatever it is. It could be your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your children, your best friends, whatever that support group is that got you here, because you didn't get here by yourself. Never forget where you came from. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the son of Basque immigrants who both immigrated from Spain in the 50s. And I grew up here in Chino on a dairy farm. And I learned some of the most valuable lessons of my life in my childhood growing up in Chino on a dairy. I learned the value of a work ethic. I didn't like getting up at 4:30 in the morning when I was 8 or 9 years old, but it groomed me for today where that's just what you do. I learned the value of having respect for others. Chino back in the 60s and 70s was a melting pot. We had the Basque, we had the Dutch, we had the Portuguese, we had the Mexicans. It was a melting pot. And I learned through my immigrant parents to respect everybody from whatever their backgrounds were. And I also learned about risk-taking. And I'm going to talk about that because any successful person in any area, particularly in practicing law, you got to take risks. My father came to this country when he was 17 years old, didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. And 3 years later in 1958, I still have the picture, he and 2 older brothers, standing at a mailbox, they bought their first dairy farm in Orange County, 123 cows. 123 cows in 1958. And fast forward to today, each one of those families will milk 10,000 cows each. That's the American dream. And I remember talking to my father about this concept of risk-taking, and I said, you know, he has broken English, and I said, Aita, that was difficult for you to leave Spain, the family farm, with 3 sisters, and come here to America, leaving your father alone to run the farm back in Spain. And my father, in his broken English, says, yeah, well, Ricardo, at the time, we thinking we make $10,000, and then we go back. I said, well, you never went back. Yeah, well, we make $10,000 a lot faster than we thought we would. But that was where I learned about risk-taking. The other thing I wanted to say is never give up. Life in general and practicing law in particular, there are ups and there are downs. Today is definitely an up day. Everyone's happy, it's great. It ain't always gonna be like that. There's gonna be times where you have down days. But never, ever forget that you can't give up. Never quit. I learned that the hard way when I was in law school. When I started law school, I had never gotten a B. I was valedictorian in 8th grade, valedictorian in high school, student body president in college, and then I get to law school, and it was like a foreign language. And after the first half of the first year, I was on the verge of flunking. I was in the bottom 20% of the class. And I had that talking to by the professor, you know, you got to pick up your game. And I did. I worked as hard as I could, and I graduated. I still say I'm the best C student that graduated from Santa Clara Law School, but I made it through it. Have a great mentor, especially in this profession. Have a great mentor. Find that somebody that you aspire to be like. Somebody who you can talk to, somebody who you can get advice from, somebody who you can give advice to. Find that mentor. I was lucky. My law partner, Mike Bidar, was my mentor from day one, and he always gave me chances. I've never second-chaired a trial in my life. Every case was on my own. My first one, I was 27 years old. It was a slip-and-fall case, difficult case, and I got a hung jury. I didn't lose, but I didn't win. And then my second trial was 2 months later, 27 years old. My first verdict was $1.8 million. And I thought, man, I'm on to something. I can do this. And then I lost my next 7 trials in a row. But again, you never quit, you never give up, and always have a positive mentor. I want to also emphasize the importance of risk-taking. I talked about that with my parents where I learned that. In my profession, where we try cases, you can talk yourself out of trying any case. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, the client's not great. The jurisdiction is tough. The juries are tough there. You can talk yourself out of trying anything and trying to settle a case. The artistry, though, of practicing law is knowing which cases should settle and which cases need to go to court to see the light of day for whatever reason it is. It may be a principle. It needs to go to trial, and you have to be brave to take those cases to trial. And it's amazing that an observation, you're going to win more of those tough cases than you think you would, but you got to take the chance to do them. You know, there's a thing called, obviously, the fear of failure. Everybody has that. I have it. I don't like to fail. I have a fear of it. It sits in me to this day before I start any trial. And you know what? That's okay. What matters is, how do you respond to that fear of failure? Does it make you avoid taking the risk, or does it make you work that much harder to make sure that you do win the case? Put in the effort. And I'll share a story with you of a case I tried in Pomona 17 years ago that kind of illustrated this. This was a insurance bad faith case arising out of a wildfire here in Claremont. And I was representing the family that lost their home. And looking at the case, it was rather difficult. We were fighting over $200,000 in insurance benefits that we claimed were owed and punitive damages, and that's it. Real simple case. And I tried the case over, 6 weeks in Pomona. And my mother and father, who are, as I said, are both Basque immigrants and speak broken English, they all came to watch the closing argument. They live up in Bakersfield. They came down to watch the closing. And I get up and I give my closing argument, and it's impassioned for 2 hours, and I'm arguing, and I think it went well. And then the other side gets up and gives their closing argument. And it was really aggressive. I mean, it was Mr. Echeverria said this, Mr. Echeverria said that, Mr. Echeverria said this, coming after me. So we take a break before the rebuttal. There's jurors in the hallways, and there's my parents standing in the corner. And I walked up to my mother, who is visibly angry at this point, all 5 foot nothing of her is ready to slap the defense lawyer. And I said, Amma, what do you think? And she said, Ricardo, I do not like the way that man was talking about you. I said, Amma, it's okay. You got to have a thick skin to this stuff. Now, my father, on the other hand, is smiling. He couldn't be happier. And come to find out, the reason he was happy is because he figured, if the other side is that upset, you're probably punching the right buttons. So I looked at my father, smiling, and I said, Aita, what do you think? And he looks around, and with a smile on his face, he says, Ricardo, I don't know, but the other side say Mr. Echeverria full of shit. So we go back into trial, finish up the closing, and the next day I got a verdict, and I call my father. And he answers the phone, yellow. Hey, Aita, we got a verdict today. Oh, yeah? What'd the jury do? Well, they awarded us $200,000, and they found that the conduct of the insurance company was malicious, oppressive, and fraudulent. So there's going to be a punitive damage phase tomorrow. And my dad says, oh, yeah, well, congratulations and good luck tomorrow. So we go into trial the next day. Punitive damage is a one-day proceeding. Put on a witness about financial worth, give a short closing argument. Jury's got the case by noon. By 4:30, I got a punitive damage verdict. And I call my father that night, and he answers the phone, yellow. And I said, Aita, we got a punitive damage verdict today. Oh, yeah? What'd the jury do? Well, they awarded us $5.1 million. And my father pauses for a moment and says, Ricardo, maybe you should go back again tomorrow. Again, taking risks. Couple of last points, and that is the importance of civility. There's a big difference between being mean and being effective. We are human beings. Just because somebody is your adversary doesn't mean they're an evil person. They have a job to do as well. And I'm especially in this day and age where I've seen emails and texts, and sometimes you got to pick up the phone and you got to talk to a person. Sometimes you got to sit down with your adversary and have a cup of coffee or a drink or a beer and talk things through. This is a civil profession, and never forget that, because it is an honor to be in the profession, and civility, I guarantee you, will pay back in spades. Before I close, I want to give a couple of shout outs to a couple of graduates. First is Zach Simpson, who's been clerking for us for the last few months. And then also my dear, dear friend, Mauro Fiore, who's been practicing for years, told me to give a shout out to his longtime paralegal, who's now going to be a lawyer, Victor Cruz. You know, in closing, I'll leave you with this. You're about to start a new chapter in your life, in your careers, and it's exciting. I remember 29 years and 6 days ago what it felt like. I felt like the world was my oyster. I could do anything. And along the way, believe me, there are ups and there are downs. Never quit. Use your profession. Use your talents. Use what you have to bring to the table to do something good, to help people, to achieve justice in whatever field that is. I promise you this, no matter how much work you put into it, what you get out of it will be far greater than anything you ever expected. I'll close by saying, you know, we call it practicing law. Think about that, practicing law. And you've heard the saying, practice makes perfect. I got news for you. Nobody is ever perfect. But if you continue to practice and practice and practice the right way, you're going to continue to get better. And you know who that benefits? It benefits society, it benefits your clients, and ultimately, it benefits you personally. Thank you very much.
Well, we had an award for Ricardo. But thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you, Dean. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Those were some great words. How about another round of applause for Ricardo? Ricardo, they told me they had an award for me about 9 years ago. I haven't gotten it yet, so be sure to pick it up. I'm Placido Gomez. I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and my role this morning is to introduce to you the student speaker. At the College of Law, the student speaker is a distinct honor. We ask her, in this case, to reflect on her experience and to tell us, right, as a representative of the whole class, about her dreams and future. And the criteria is relatively straightforward, right? It's the student that has the highest grade point average at the end of fall semester of her final year. Although straightforward, these guys out here, and many of you in the audience know what a difficult task, right? What a difficult endeavor that is. What it means is that for every course, during every semester, for almost 3 years, this person has performed at an extremely high level in the very, very, very competitive atmosphere of law school. So it's a tremendous, tremendous honor. And this year, our student speaker is Lambrini Duda. And I really don't have enough time, right, to run through a list of Ms. Duda's academic achievements. But I come right over here while I embarrass you, okay? But I want to talk about one quality that Ms. Duda has, that I am very, very proud to say that quite a few of you guys that I've taught, you have this same quality. And it goes along with what our speaker, Ricardo, talked about, taking risks. I can tell you this, that Ms. Duda and quite a few of you run to the struggle. Run to the struggle. And I want to tell a brief story about one experience I had with Ms. Duda. Professor Shafee and I supervise students in the misdemeanor appellate clinic. And we proudly represent defendants who have been convicted and who want to appeal their cases. And just before the pandemic, we took quite a few cases, right? The students did a great job, and we waited to argue those cases. But you will recall that the legal system, all of us, right? All of us had challenges, right, when the pandemic came. And what happened to the legal system is the courts bottlenecked, right, the cases. So what we had was at the end of the semester, we had 7, 8, 9 cases that the court assigned us to argue every month. Right? Every month we had a case to argue. And to argue a case at an appellate level, it's a significant commitment, right? It's 3 to 4 weeks of preparation. You have to analyze every case your opponent has presented. You have to know your cases. You have to know your argument. So every month we had students arguing cases, and they did a great job, including Lambrini. But we got to the end of the semester, and we had a case to argue, and we didn't have any advocates. So Professor Shafee and I met, and we got together, and we decided that even though it was the end of the semester and she had finals coming, we would ask Lambrini to argue the case. And I still remember the meeting. It was on Zoom. Yeah, I'm sorry I get choked up. But Professor Shafee and I got on Zoom. Lambrini came on, and before we had a chance to say anything, Lambrini said, I know you have a case coming up. I want to do it. I want to do it. And she did it. And she did it. And that's what reflecting on what I had to do this morning, I remembered a article. It was one of the 100 most influential people in Time magazine. You're not there yet, but you will be. A lot of you will be there. But the preface, in the preface, the author tried to find something in common with all of these 100 peoples. And that's where I heard that quality for the first time, right? All of these people run to the struggle. Run to the struggle. It's 4 words. It sounds simple, but it's not, right? First of all, you have to identify the struggle. A lot of us are not able to do that, right? And Lambrini, through her experience, has run up against obstacles, right? And addressed them, and addressed them well. The second thing is you gotta run, right? You can't walk to the struggle. And there's a big difference between saying, call me if you need some help, right? That's walking, right? And I'm here to help. Here's what I can do, right? That's running, right? And that's Lambrini. And many of you, quite frankly, many of you, right? I want to do the case. And then finally, you got to run to the struggle, right? You got to run in the right direction. I know many of you have sat in meetings when you've identified an issue and you've talked about addressing it, realizing it's urgent, right? And then you get to the point where you're assigning tasks And all of a sudden, the cell phones start to ring, right? And somebody says, oh, that's my therapist. I got to take this call, right? I'll be back, right? Or someone says, I really can't help you. That's a little bit out of my lane, right? You got to run to the struggle. And what a great quality for a young lawyer and young lawyers. Graduates, families, faculty, permítame presentarles. Allow me to present to you our student speaker, graduation 2022, Ms. Lambriti Duda.
Thank you, Dean Gomez, for the wonderful introduction. Good morning, graduates, faculty, family, and friends. It is truly an honor to be here today, and I want to thank the College of Law for giving me the privilege of being the class of 2022 student speaker. One thing I learned in law school is just like an opening statement or a closing argument, no speech should be longer than 10 minutes, because in any time longer than that, any audience or jury will stop paying attention. So we'll keep it short and sweet for you all. I would like to start off by sharing with you how grateful I am to have had the opportunity to be a student here at the University of La Verne College of Law. I would not be here today if it was not for the support of my entire family who is here today. I am sure all the graduates feel the same way. I would like to start off by thanking my parents for always supporting me in anything I do. Being an immigrant and a child of an immigrant parents does come with a pressure to make your parents' sacrifices worth it. I want to thank my parents today for sacrificing so much for me to be able to earn this degree, and for specifically allowing me to find my way to the legal profession. Next, I would like to thank my partner, Nikos, for being by my side through anything that I do in my law school career. At the same time, Nikos was in medical school and is also a 2022 graduate. Throughout this time, we were both always busy and always tired, but we always made the time to support each other. There's absolutely nobody else I would rather go through this journey with. Now, this may be an unpopular opinion, but when law school started, I actually started to really enjoy it. I remember staying late in the library one of the first days of law school, trying to dissect a court opinion and understand exactly what an offer acceptance consideration is. I was fascinated by all the stories that we read and how those bizarre situations and scenarios made up a wide set of laws as we know them today, or the laws that we were instructed to forget about because they're no longer good law. That is when I realized that we have the ability to create powerful change in the world. I found great interest in what I was learning on a day-to-day basis, and this passion of learning and discovery is what I believe pushed me through all the difficult situations in law school. But make no mistake, I never pulled an all-nighter. Next, I want to thank my study group. We always express to each other this, but once again, I am truly so thankful for each and one of you. I remember how we quickly formed a group in the very first week of law school. We all had one goal in mind: to succeed together and to be there for each other in the challenging times that we were about to encounter. The friendships that we formed and the support system that we created is something that we will cherish forever. I will forever be grateful for the kind, selfless, and supportive individuals that I met in law school that I am so lucky to not just call my colleagues, but lifelong friends. I am sure many of you can relate with me, but I think back to the beginning of law school, and I remember how intimidated and scared I felt when I was about to enter the unknown. I truly did not know what to expect. Before coming in, we all heard the crazy stories of the first day of law school where professors tried to intimidate the students. We as students were all familiar with the phrase that goes as follows: look to your left, look to your right, and half of you will not make it. Dean Marshall added a twist to this popular phrase during our first year orientation, and it has stuck with me throughout the entirety of my law school career. Dean Marshall said something along the lines of, look to your left, look to your right. Each and every one of you have worked hard and have earned your seat in this class. This is the type of environment that I was looking for when I was applying to law school. And this is the type of environment that has been the reason we're all here today, having accomplished this wonderful achievement. I am so grateful that we had the privilege of attending law school that makes it its mission to foster growth and ensures that each and every student has the opportunity and the means to succeed. One of my biggest fears in law school was that I would have professors that would turn their backs on you when they see you in the hallway. This stereotype was quickly erased from my mind as I started to get to know my professors. All the professors at the College of Law have been so welcoming and always willing to help us in any way they can. A professor who stood out in my journey is Professor Michelle Shafia. Professor Shafia embodies what the College of Law strives to do, and that is to set up their students for success in their discovery of law and self. Professor Shafia has always been so kind and so selfless and goes out of her way to help not only her students, but also students outside of her classroom. Professor Shafia gave me the confidence to achieve different milestones, such as presenting my first oral argument before the San Bernardino court, and winning that case for our client, and overall to have confidence in my work product. The College of Law provides its students opportunities for practical learning, as Dean Gomez already mentioned. For me, it was being in the misdemeanor appellate clinic with Professor Shafia and Dean Gomez as my mentors. And that is what I believe truly kickstarted my success in all the hands-on experience and practical knowledge that I have acquired thus far. But most importantly, what I found of value in the clinical setting is a sense of community that these programs created. Next, I would like to thank the friends and families of the 2022 graduating students who are here with us today or those watching from home. I know I can speak for everyone when I say that your role in our journey has been so important and is so appreciated. I think we have all heard enough about COVID, but I think it's worth mentioning it. My class was lucky enough to experience our first 1.5 semesters of law school in person. For anyone who knows what the Socratic method is, understands how puzzled we all were when the mandatory quarantines were announced. We didn't know what to expect, but we all ended up spending way more time at home with our loved ones than we had ever anticipated, and faced more challenges in law school than we had ever accounted for. So I would like to thank all of the families for being accommodating, understanding, and supportive during this law school experience that was anything but normal. Lastly, I would like to address all of my classmates. We did it. I am so proud of each and every one of you. We all know what it took to get here and to get through this difficult journey. One of my favorite law school moments is attending the spring awards ceremonies. During this time, I get to find out all of the amazing talent that my classmates and everything that they have achieved. The Cali Awards, the practical experience involvements, the wonderful results that we have achieved for our clients, the journal publications, the community service, the moot court competition awards, the list goes on. But I want to make one thing clear. Our journey is not over yet. Our journey has just barely begun. I just know that we are a class of people who are destined to do amazing things and make a difference in the legal field and beyond. Our role is to represent those who need us in some of the most vulnerable times in their lives. We will undoubtedly continue to face many challenges ahead. One phrase I would repeat back to myself in law school, and especially during finals, was that no matter what, I always pull through. Take a moment to think your own encouraging words and also your reason why you went to law school. And take those phrases with you into bar prep, the bar exam, and any other difficult situation. Because we did it now, and I know that we will do it again. No matter what, we always pull through. I would like to end on this note. No profession is more honorable than the law. The defenders of the Constitution, the guardians of our liberty, the advocates of just causes, the protectors of the powerless, the wise counselors of our society. That is the role of America's lawyers. That is what you have trained to become. I cannot wait to see and hear about all the amazing things that you all will accomplish. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2022. Thank you.
We do have an award, and it's right here physically. And it says Class of 2022 Student Speaker in recognition of her steadfast commitment to academic excellence, Lambrini Duda.
Oh, there's one more. Sorry, I'm going off script. Lambrini, am I pronouncing that correctly? I heard, and I'm assuming it's accurate, that you have taken the bar and you've passed the bar. Does she have a job? Congratulations.
Thank you, Lambrini. The Dean's Award is a tradition every year where the College of Law gets to recognize and acknowledge exemplary journeys of graduating students whose leadership, actions, academic achievements, community interactions, and contributions is a manifestation of the College of Law's vision. And that is, we are an incubator of innovation and legal education, thought and advocacy for individuals passionate about serving their communities. This year we are giving 2 awards, one to a graduating student from the full-time program and one from the part-time program. This year's winners are Ms. Lambrini Duda and Nicole Diaz. Let me start with Lambrini, although we've already heard a bit about her. In her personal statement that she submitted with her admissions application, Ms. Duda shared with the committee that she's an immigrant and a first-generation college student, raised and guided by immigrant parents. She was vested with the core value that hard work and perseverance can get someone anywhere in life, and that because of that core value, she represented to the admissions committee that she was capable of accomplishing anything if she's determined to do so. She further shared that her empathy towards people who are experiencing distress is how she would contribute to La Verne's College of Law, a legacy of making a difference. And while Dean Gomez has already highlighted many of Ms. Duda's special attributes, let me share some additional observations. She made the dean's list every single semester. She received the highest grade in 7 core foundational courses, landing her, of course, at the top of her class. She served as an editor for the University La Verne Law Review. And not only did she participate, as you've heard, in the misdemeanor appellate advocacy clinic, she played a leading role in representing clients, including having one of the most successful victories the clinic ever experienced. She served as secretary for the Latino Law Student Association. She was teaching assistant for the criminal law during the height of the pandemic, and it was reported to me that during this time, she took special care to reach out to the students, those new 1L students, to build a community within this remote, two-dimensional world we were living in. She was the recipient of the Heart of La Verne Law Ethics Award. She was the 2021 Barristers Ball 2L Student of Merit. She was the 2022 Barristers Ball 3L Student of Distinction. She received the 2022 Scribes Award. Ms. Duda, you are this year's full-time recipient of the Dean's Award. Thank you for raising the bar for all of us. Thank you for truly making a difference in the lives of so many. And thank you for inspiring me to run to the struggle. Okay, Nicole, I'm not going to get so emotional. I'm going to try. Ms. Diaz is a first-generation college student raised in a single-parent household who herself funded her educational journey while working full-time. Ms. Diaz shared with me that her educational pursuits have always pointed towards creating a more equitable and representative justice system for underserved communities. As a Mexican-American woman, Ms. Diaz shared that she knows what it is to be different, and to speak a different language, to live a different culture. She explained to me that she sees the world through this very relevant but unique lens. She stands firm that there are underrepresented communities that need representation. She also shared with me that different cultures and experiences produce very different perspectives of the law and its application. She vows to contribute her life experience and passion for justice to provide culturally competent representation in and out of the classroom. During her 4-year journey through our part-time law program, Ms. Diaz excelled also as a law student. In this regard, she made the Dean's List. She served on an award-winning advanced appellate advocacy team. She was the recipient of the Best Petitioner Brief and Best Team Award at the Western Regional Black Law Student Association. She was top 8 finalists for the Thurgood Marshall National Moot Court Competition. She authored a simulated case for the trial advocacy course. She is an active member of the Latino Law Student Association, the American Immigration Lawyers Association, the American Constitution Association, the National Black Law Student Association, and she served as a judge for the College of Law's Advanced Appellate Advocacy Oral Arguments and Appellate Advocacy Clinic. And finally, her grit and persistence and passion has impressed judges and attorneys throughout the Inland Empire, landing her a postgraduate clerkship with the San Bernardino District's Attorney's Office. Ms. Diaz, you are this year's part-time program student, recipient of the Dean's Award. Thank you for raising the bar for all of us. Thank you for having truly made the difference in the lives of so many of us here at the College of Law. Congratulations.
Thank you.
See this? There's no, where do we ask them to stand? I don't know, we'll have to figure it out. Oh, you do?
One more time, good morning. I am Brian Clarkson, Vice Provost at the University of La Verne. President Lieberman, it is my pleasure and privilege as Vice Provost to present to you the candidates here assembled who have qualified in all respects for their respective degree program at the University of La Verne. They have been recommended by the faculty and confirmed by the Board of Trustees to be awarded the appropriate degrees in recognition of their academic achievements. Will the faculty representing the Juris Doctorate degree conferred this morning from the College of Law please rise? Now, all of the Juris Doctorate candidates, please rise. President Lieberman, the faculty and I are pleased to present these candidates who will qualify as appropriate for Juris Doctor.
Thank you so much, Vice Provost Clarkson. With the recommendation of the faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me as president by the Board of Trustees and the state of California, I hereby confer upon each of you the degree for which you have qualified, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. We welcome each one of you to the company of educated persons who are alumni of this remarkable university, the University of La Verne. Congratulations. And now, will all the faculty and staff please be seated? Juris Doctorate candidates, please remain standing. Now it's all about you.
President Lieberman, it is with pride as the Dean of the College of Law to acknowledge these candidates standing before you as qualified Juris Doctorates. At this time, I invite the graduates eligible for the degree of Juris Doctorate to come to the platform to be recognized.
Lambrini, Duda. Nicole Diaz. Zachary Simpson. Nia Harbor. Zarmain Mahan. Joanna Rosas. Ana Zuniga. Tyler DeVito. Erica Murphy. Jordan Murphy. Michael Cesar Chavez. Ashley Duran. Dominic Fiore. Richard Hamilton. Rumei Diamrian. Madeline Aguilar. Armando Marquez. Sonia Guareña. Nadra Weiss. Kissy Martinez. Estrella Coral. Michaela Martin. Samantha Walker. Justin Alexander Tamayo. Puya Radfar. Jacob Castrejon.
Christopher Glinke. Nathaniel Martin. Valerie Nicole Felix. Tina Ferdos. Ronnie Vogelsang. Carlos Vargas. Jordan Garcia. Mauricio Lopez. Gary Dominguez. Mitchell Vanderwitty. Amar Mohazy. Paulina Lizárraga. Karen Idris. Maria J. Martinez. Violet De La Torre. Beverly Kim. Rochelle LeDuc. Mark O'Brien. Lada Arsenault. Adriana Rayo. Sarah Johnson. Michelle Russell. Emily Ebener. Hasmik Victoria McCurchian. Yola K-Roos. Savitri Sala. Arpeni Mayil. Gevorg Tatevosian. Ani Sarkisian. Anashe Agajani. Shant Thomas. Larissa Palacios Gomez.
Victor Cruz. Jose Arturo Ochoa. Justin Tucker. Armand Antrian. Dave Romero. Ying Chin Liu. Edward Ortiz. There we go. Arthur Garcia. Rodrigo Nieves. Monique Radzink. Daniela Mares. Taylor Kovacic. Anna Gregorian.
And last but not least, Rosa Trujillo Vasquez.
Wow. Let's all applaud. So, graduates, following some of the remarks from our speakers, let's start by having you look to your right and say, "You did it, we did it." I want to hear you. Look to your right. Now, look to your left and say, "I love you." Doesn't it feel good to love somebody and be loved, and you did this together? A couple of things I want to leave with you, and that is every single one of you has a story. Those stories are important. We heard about a story starting with a dairy farmer in Bakersfield. Every single one of you has a story. I want you always to remember your story, share your story. Never, never apologize for your story. Remember where you came from, and then what I ask of you, as our commencement speaker said, to find a mentor, I ask you to be the mentor to someone else. Someone helped you get here today. You are obligated. It's part of your mission and your vision to help those behind you. Many of you are first generation students attending college and graduating from law school. You are breaking the glass ceiling. You are breaking barriers. You must help others do the same. So let's applaud ourselves for what you're going to do. And now, graduates, there's a tradition across the country that is sort of the official marker from moving from candidate to graduate, and it's called moving the tassel. But we do it a little differently here at the University of La Verne. And instead of just moving it from the right to the left, which is very transactional, very functional, at the University of La Verne, we move our tassel from our heads to our hearts. So move your tassel from your right to your left, your head to your heart. Today, you are Leos for life. Congratulations. So graduates, stay standing, and I ask your family, your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, please stand so that the graduates can officially scream and yell and thank you for everything you've done. And now, everybody stay standing, and I ask the administration, the trustees, the faculty, and the staff to please rise. Family, friends, graduates, it's been a long journey. You're here today. But I have to remind you, if it were not for your phenomenal faculty, your supportive staff, the Board of Trustees, we would not all be here today. They are the glue. They've nurtured you, supported you, and brought you to today. Family, friends, graduates, please thank our trustees, our staff, and our faculty. And now I'd like to call up Dean Marshall, our endowed dean, to give you his final remarks.
At commencement, we have a tradition of honoring law students who have made a difference with their distinctive service and contributions to our community by ringing the Spirit Bell. The Spirit Bell exemplifies the heart of the La Verne College of Law. The sound of the Spirit Bell marks the beginning of the academic year, and so it also marks the end of commencement. Spirit Bell chimes of our pride, our spirit, linking you to all the generations of students who've come before you. The ringing of the bell is honor bestowed upon those who've made significant contributions in shaping the current, present, and future well-being of the College of Law, and who have contributed greatly to fostering the spirit of learning and justice. The following students have performed in a manner that demonstrates the best of what we can produce. Ringing our Spirit Bell today is Lambrini Duda, Zach Simpson, Nicole Diaz, and Nia Harbor. Please come forward. The Alma Mater by Taylor Murphy concludes our ceremony. We invite you to join us in singing the Alma Mater. The words and music are located at the back of your program, at the end of the Alma Mater, and then the Spirit Bell. Please be seated for the recessional. Graduates, on behalf of the Alumni Advisory Board and Alumni Relations, you will find a gift bag under your chair, and as a reminder, you are now a Leo for life. Alma Mater.
There's a dear favored spot that shall ne'er be forgot, for its memories will linger for aye. Near the mountains it lies, 'neath the bluest of skies. 'Tis La Verne with its friends true and gay. In La Verne we believe, and a portion we live of ourselves that shall never depart. For whate'er may betide, there a joy will abide in a dear favored spot in each heart. Alma Mater to you, each alumnus is true. Every heart beats a tribute of love, as it goes but to give and in service to live for the truest and noblest above. How we cherish your lore and your emblems adore. We'll be faithful and loyal to you. With the shield of the right, there is courage